Oregon and Penn State set for a whiteout on September 27th under the lights. Penn State will finally get their top home opponent for a primetime whiteout. An early line is already out for this matchup on DraftKings with the Nittany Lions as current 4-point favorites. This is going to be an insane game. I cannot wait to see Beaver Stadium absolutely rocking for potentially the first ever whiteout between two top 5 teams. I really like true freshman Yvan Kamaju. He has quickly added weight after arriving on campus in the winter and now stands at about 6'3", 250 pounds. So I think some of those reps that Granville has to leave behind will absolutely be allocated to Kamaju, and he will burn that red shirt pretty easily. Denai is going to be elite. Zariah Fisher, I think, is going to surprise a lot of people. And everyone below those two are sort of just being thrown into the fire, and whether they burn or thrive, that's up to them. Welcome into the Penn State Pulse. I'm your host, Dylan Dawson. We are recording here in State College on Tuesday, June 10th. We are going to dive into some big recent headlines today, including new commitments across multiple sports, the House versus NCAA settlement that finally is coming to an end, and some recruiting updates. So basketball is what we're going to start with. They picked up a commitment from Turkish guard. Excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, but Malay Tunca. That's definitely wrong. He is a 6'5" guard that averaged over 17 points, 6 assists, and 2.5 rebounds per game in the U20s last summer for Turkey. This has been in the works for a few months now. PSU finally got it over the line. He has a very mature game that I think should translate pretty well to Big Ten ball. He could be a real difference maker and potentially even a starter. I don't think enough people are talking about this commitment, and we'll hear his name, however it's pronounced, called quite a bit next season. A couple of other overseas guys that Penn State is working on to join the team for this upcoming season. Those guys are not finalized yet. Obviously, there hasn't been any news about them, but I expect that in the next maybe month or two. This is a long process to get some of these overseas guys over into the States, so we will see how that plays out, but I would not expect Tunca to be the last overseas recruit that Penn State adds for this upcoming season. Hockey is having an awesome offseason. They've been riding that momentum from the program's first ever Frozen Four appearance. They retained star forward Aiden Fink, who led the team in goal scoring last season. They landed 6'3" Army transfer Matt Godowski out of the portal. If that Godowski last name sounds familiar, it is because he is indeed the son of Penn State hockey coach Guy Godowski. He was arguably the top defenseman in the NCAA last season. He brings a ton of experience and scoring potential as well for a defenseman. 2024, he was a first-team All-American, a top 10 finalist for the Hobie Baker Award, which is given to the top male college hockey player in the country. So that's a great add as far as the defenseman. Then it also looks like they'll be adding Jackson Smith to the roster. That's actually not yet finalized, as opposed to what others had been previously reporting. He is visiting Penn State after the combine and also plans to visit Boston College and Michigan before making an official commitment, according to Cam Robinson of Elite Prospects. The Canadian is a projected top 10 pick in the upcoming NHL draft after scoring 54 points last season with Tri-City. Penn State is absolutely the leader here, but again, that is not yet finalized. Would be a great addition, obviously, to add a projected top 10 pick in an NHL draft to a collegiate roster. Penn State also has some buzz for the projected number 1 overall pick, Gavin McKenna. NHL insider Elliot Friedman said that after asking around with multiple sources, the consensus is that PSU is probably the current favorite. Nothing is finalized there either. Other schools still in consideration include Michigan and Michigan State. It should come down to one of those three, with Penn State likely leading the pack at the moment. I don't even need to state how huge this would be for Penn State hockey, but of course they need to close first. Oregon and Penn State set for a whiteout on September 27th under the lights. I cannot wait for this game. This has been out officially for about a week now, but I think it's definitely still worth mentioning since I didn't hit on it in the last pod. Penn State will finally get their top home opponent for a primetime whiteout. An early line is already out for this matchup on DraftKings with the Nittany Lions as current 4-point favorites. This is going to be an insane game. I cannot wait to see Beaver Stadium absolutely rocking for potentially the first ever whiteout between two top 5 teams. Moving on to some less exciting news. No Nittany Lions wanted to see this, but Max Granville is out indefinitely with a knee injury. He was the projected third D end in this defense behind Deni Dennis Sutton and 6th-year Zariah Fisher. Granville was working out back home in Texas when the injury occurred, so prayers up to him for a smooth and speedy recovery. As far as who those reps will now go to, you have to look at that chunk of first and second year guys who are obviously extremely talented but just don't have much experience yet. I really, really like true freshman Yvonne Kamaju. He has quickly added weight after arriving on campus in the winter and now stands at about 6'3", 250 pounds. He is super athletic, super twitched up. Honestly, kind of falls in line with that mold of, I'm not saying he's going to be anything like him, but that Abdul Carter, Chop Robinson, honestly Max Granville type of player where they're just super twitched up. Not the biggest guy, 6'3", but they can beat you around the edge just like that. So I think some of those reps that Granville has to leave behind will absolutely be allocated to Kamaju, and he will burn that red shirt pretty easily. Two guys who did redshirt, in their freshman campaigns, Jalen Harvey and Malachi Williams, should also see a solid increase in reps in year 2 with the program. Again, very talented players, but I can't sit here and say they're going to be fine when they have yet to prove it on the field at a collegiate level. So as far as that D end room in general, it should be good. You just can't go out and say that for sure yet. Deni is going to be elite. Zariah Fisher, I think, is going to surprise a lot of people. And everyone below those two are sort of just being thrown into the fire. And whether they burn or thrive, that's up to them. The House versus NCAA settlement officially finalized. This basically means that revenue sharing is now a thing. That's where schools are directly paying athletes. There is roster limits. There's a spending cap. You can only spend, I believe the number is $20.5 million per school on all athletics combined per year. I think about 3/4 of that is going to go to football alone. At most schools, you're going to see 13, 14, 15, maybe 16 million allocated to football alone at a school like Penn State, where football is the main driving force for athletic revenue. There's also going to be third-party NIL deals of over $600 now. Basically just need approved by a clearinghouse. So any player that gets a deal with a brand, it just needs to get approved if it's over $600 for the athlete. I think I saw something on X where that would have been about 70% of deals that would not have went through last year for the athletes. So there's going to be a lot of dirt kicked up, I think, because of this. It's going to shake stuff up. It's still going to be a little bit like the Wild West, just with a few more rules. So I think they're headed in the right direction as far as NIL, but this obviously opens up private equity as well. So we will see where it goes. I don't love where it's going, but it is better than it was last year. So that's all you can hope for, right? Let's get into recruiting. Penn State has a couple commitments since the last time you guys saw my face on here. 3-star Detroit interior offensive lineman Benjamin Ezuka, I think that's how you pronounce it, joins the fold in the 2026 class. He is a guy that isn't going to blow you away in any specific categories, but he's really, really solid in just about every single one. He could end up at guard or center, but definitely on the interior of the offensive line. Nick Dawkins is the easy comparison to make here. They both play with a lot of tenacity and intelligence on the field and are quiet, hard workers off the field. Another commitment that just happened a few days ago was 3-star corner Amari Polidor. I got the chance to talk to him a few days after his commitment. He is a super nice kid. He has his head on straight, and I think he will be able to flourish in a system like Penn State's. You go turn that film on, he's a ball hawk. He has great ball skills and reads the quarterbacks very well. Almost every other play seems like him just jumping a ball for an interception, sometimes a pick six. He has some good speed as well. I believe he ran a 4.5 He was in the 4.5 range when he came up and camped at Penn State. So that is good enough, especially as a high schooler. I think that usually translates to low 4.4s in college, usually after you get into strength and conditioning. So that should be quite a good asset to have the speed for him at the next level. He's set to attend St. Francis Academy in Baltimore for his senior season. He has not played there yet, but he is set to join the team. He would be the first St. Francis recruit to sign with PSU in a very long time. That has been a regional powerhouse that the Nittany Lions have been trying to get into for a while. So it would be nice for Polidor to help establish kind of a pipeline for Penn State getting into that school. Highly touted safety, Joey O'Brien, has a top 4 now of Penn State, Notre Dame, Clemson, and Oregon. He goes to LaSalle in Glenside, just north of Philly. That is Abdul Carter's high school. Those of you that follow recruiting would also recognize that he is teammates with Grayson McCall, the offensive tackle. 24/7 Sports has O'Brien as a 5-star, the number 30 overall player in the 2026 cycle, the number 4 safety, and the number 1 recruit coming out of PA. From everything that I've heard across multiple different sources, I really double-check, triple-check, quadruple-check this. I think this decision ultimately comes down to 2 schools. Notre Dame is not one of them, despite a lot of national reports. I think this comes down to Clemson and Penn State. Do with that info as you'd like. We'll see how accurate that is. 5-star offensive tackle Immanuel Iheanacho also has his top 4, which includes Penn State, LSU, Oregon, and Auburn. This kid is one of the larger 17-year-old humans that I have ever seen. He's 6'7" and 350 pounds. That is larger than most tackles starting in the NFL right now. NIL will be a big factor in this recruitment, which Penn State is now willing to throw cash at the right recruit. They don't like paying high schoolers. They like paying guys on the team that have proven themselves at the collegiate level. But a guy like this is almost guaranteed, to at least be a starter for a couple years in college. I mean, he's huge. He is very well polished already. So I think Penn State will be competitive here from an NIL standpoint. Distance from home will also be a factor here. He plays for Georgetown Preparatory School in Baltimore. So PSU has the edge in that department as opposed to LSU, Oregon, and Auburn. I guess Auburn is probably the closest school outside of Penn State, which is only a couple hours from home. So with all that being said, I am not currently expecting PSU to land him. They do have a realistic shot. I would probably lean LSU at the moment, but we'll see. He officially visits Penn State this weekend, so maybe they can make up some ground there. Another offensive tackle that has a top 4 is 4-star Thomas Wilder. He is a Virginia kid, I believe. He just took his official visit to Penn State over the weekend, this last weekend. He has a top 4 that includes Penn State alongside UNC, Virginia Tech, and Maryland, so a regional top 4 for Mr. Wilder. Seems like a recruitment where if Penn State pushes and gives him the green light, he will end up a part of the class. I think they would like to see where a few of their top-of-the-board guys decide to go first, like previously mentioned Grayson McCall and Emmanuel Iheanacho. All right, PSU is trending here for a 2027 quarterback by the name of Peter Bourke. He is from Massachusetts and is a top 100 overall recruit in the cycle. I believe a top 10 quarterback. I could be wrong on that one. But he seems to be nearing a decision. PSU is absolutely the leader here at the moment. It's just kind of a matter of if this is wrapped up within the next couple of months or not. I am somewhat expecting a decision from Bourke in late summer. That seems to be the word. Maybe August. So the Nittany Lions could have their quarterback of the 2027 cycle in the fold early on in the cycle, which would follow a bit of a trend with Troy Hune jumping on board early in 2026. So that's going to do it for today's episode. Just a few headlines to hit on for you guys. This has been the Penn State Pulse. I'm your host, Dylan Dawson. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next one.